Hello, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, good evening. Welcome to the S.S.Chandhok talk show. I'm your host and moderator S.S. Chandhok. Today I'm very happy because I have a very renowned personality with me who is going to talk about a very important topic, ChatGPT and its role in schools. To discuss about this personality, it's just like we say in Hindi कि चिराग तले अंधेरा और अगर किसी को दिया दिखाएं रोशनी में वही वाली बात होगी. So let me introduce you to the guest of today, Mr. Chandrasekhar, Dr. Chandrasekhar. He is the CEO of Jain Group of Institutions, Bangalore, and at other places also. He's a TEDx speaker. He's an author. He's an entrepreneur, and he is doing a number of things which we are going to talk to him at first. Thank you so much, sir, first of all, for joining us in the show. It's a privilege to have you on the show, sir. Sir, please let us know about yourself, sir, because we had been following you since long, CSK Speaks and your schools. As I told you earlier, also, we have a branch of your school in Kanpur also here in our city also. Sir, please let us know what wonderful initiatives you are doing for the education, sir.
Namaste, good morning. And first of all, I want to express my gratitude to Mr. Chandhok. In spite of being a full-time academician, principal, head of institution, the kind of work you're doing to spread awareness, to educate fellow educators, and also to contribute for a thought process. So I would like to call you a thought leader, and I really want to congratulate you for this initiative. And I'm extremely delighted to be out on your forum today, and I look forward for an interaction. As a person and as an educator myself, I am Dr. Chandrasekhar, a CEO of Jain Group of Institutions. We work predominantly in the south and the central part of the country. We have presence in close to 9 states. And I think if my numbers serves me right, we are a group of institutions with more than 90 institutions and 65,000 students. Of course, we are a credit to career organization. We have got colleges and universities as well, but in terms of schools, around 28 schools and maybe another 10 to 12 preschools or early year centers. All in all, around 30,000 students last year and maybe 35,000 students the current academic year from June, July 2023.
That's wonderful, sir. Awesome. And sir, please tell us about your YouTube channel also, sir, CSK Speaks.
Well, like you, I also try to do something out of the 9 to 6 routine where I spend time talking about three main topics. First of all, of course, is education. Second is entrepreneurship. And third is empowerment. Because I believe in these three things, three E's, very seriously. And my channel, YouTube channel, CSK Speaks, my social media handles, again in the name of CSK Speaks, I try to write blogs, small podcasts, videos. All of that are routed and aimed towards spreading kind of an awareness. And I believe that there is so much more which is possible in each one of us. The potential within every human is normally unlocked. This initiative, CSK Speaks, is to enable people, individuals, to unlock their hidden potential and transform them into reality. That's the main objective.
That's wonderful, sir. And I request everybody who will see this episode, I'll just share the link of CSK Speaks and please go over there and you will feel so much motivated. I had been listening to that and I think that I got motivated from people like you, Chandrasekhar sir, that I started this initiative 2 years back because I saw the way you are motivating the people. That positiveness you're spreading throughout the education field and the people's also, that it's hats off to you, sir, because it was really needed and during this 2 years of pandemic when there is a lot of distress among with the people. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So, sir, today's as we have a topic is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the hottest topic of the society today. People are coming to know about ChatGPT, but sir, first of all, we will like to understand from you that what actually ChatGPT is and what are the benefits of using it in the schools.
All right. Thank you very much for that question. But let me start with a small little disclaimer. ChatGPT is a jargon to many of us. It's a fashionable jargon. We keep hearing about it, reading about it, and even talk about it in our normal conversations, especially from the last November when it was launched. But let me use this opportunity today through the Chandok talk show that I want to talk about ChatGPT in a very simplistic manner, like I talk to a grade 4 or a grade 5 student, because I believe that understanding things and making it simple is the most important way to start off with. Because once you understand it in a very day to day terms and a layman term, you will know about its application and implications. So I will be using very simple language, and this is my personal opinion. So that's the disclaimer before even I get started. Now, coming to the question, yes, all of us have been hearing about AI, artificial intelligence, and this one is an open AI forum. The Chat GPT, or the exact expansion of GPT, is Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So that is the exact meaning of GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Now let's dissect these words. Chat, we all understand. Generative is it goes back to the pool of information which is available through the LLM, that is the large language model. So every text which is present in the web of internet is scanned through, and then it is pulled out and presented to you to suit your query. That's the generation or generative part. Then pre-trained is there are people like you and me who have sat behind the screens and they have kind of evaluated the responses, and that is what they call technically as reinforcement learning with human feedback. So the words themselves are self-explanatory: reinforcement learning with human feedback. So computer throws something and I kind of forces the computer to learn a little more. That is my feedback, human feedback, training the computer. It's like, for example, how do you train a dog? Sit, walk, stay, fetch. All of these keywords will make the dog get commands and understand and decodes and behave accordingly. Similarly, the machine is also trained, and that's what the techies call as machine learning. So, Chat GPT is basically nothing but somebody is there virtually who's going through the plethora of information on the internet and give you suitable and desirable answers to the prompts or queries which you have. So in simple words, it's like chatting with another fellow person, but there is no person over there. It's a simulated person, an artificial or a virtual reality kind of a person who's talking to you. That's my understanding.
That's wonderful. It means like in Google, when we ask it, the machine answers, but here you get the answers like a person or a human being who is going to answer your questions the same way the machine will answer you.
Yes. So
That is,
basically, 2 points I want to add here is the answers. Like if you look at what is the difference between the Google and Chat GPT, the answers is more conversational. Like as if somebody is giving you an answer from the other end, while Google is more of factual, like it is just copy pasting the information which is available. But how does this happen? In Chat GPT, there is something called as the reward based model. So, for example, if I ask, what is the capital city of Telangana? Now there is Hyderabad as an answer. Then there is, say, Warangal as an answer. There is Bangalore as an answer. Somebody is going to rate it backhand saying Hyderabad is the right answer, so it gets 10 out of 10. Warangal is not the right answer, so it is 0 out of 10. Bangalore is 0 out of 10, but Bangalore gets 10 out of 10 for Karnataka. So these kind of ratings are happening, which is called reward based, and that's why the answers are more accurate and more precise. So that's the whole thing. In Google, what happens is sometimes you get a lot of information, but you have to skim through that to know the right answer. But here you're pointed towards the right answer much more easily.
that means the perfection is there when you come to Chat GPT. Right. Right. Thank you so much, sir. Now we'll come up to the next question, sir. That how can Chat GPT be effectively integrated in the classroom instructions? Because basically, when we're talking about Chat GPT, we're talking that it should be brought into the schools or not. So how effectively we can bring it into the classroom?
Well, I think this has been a debatable topic for the last few months because there are many people, educators, teachers, school administrators, even governments have been talking about banning ChatGPT completely for the simple reason that it will kind of stop the creativity for the students. It will foster children to cheat more with their homeworks and assignments and other things because ChatGPT almost can do everything. It can write a poem for you, it can solve a mathematical equation, it can code or it can debug a particular code, it can do anything. But this has been a pressing issue for teachers and educators. In fact, not just in India, even in the West, like for example, Seattle public schools or some of the schools in Dallas have already put a blanket ban on ChatGPT in all the systems inside the school. But your question is something slightly different, where you talk about how can we integrate it, and I appreciate that intention of asking the question and the wording because you are not looking at should it be taken or should it not be taken. The way you are asking itself is there is chat gpt, is there a way where schools can embrace it and take it into the system and make learning much more meaningful for the learner? So if I have to look at it from that perspective, yes, the answer I would like to give you is schools can thoughtfully embrace chat gpt as a teaching aid. How can we do that? We can do that by simplifying the entire drama around it of, oh, it's going to come, it's going to take over my job, it's going to make the child more lazy. No, you can actually make the child much more smarter using ChatGPT. For example, on a lighter note, if I have to ask, in fact, somebody did that in the America. So they asked, how can I get around the blanket ban introduced by the school and integrate ChatGPT in the school? They asked the same question to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT gave 7 answers how anybody can overcome that, and one of them is the VPN. So that means ChatGPT is here to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. Now, schools can integrate it by embracing it as a teaching aid. And then, for example, I'll give you one instance. Now, if you say that, okay, ChatGPT is telling the child or doing the homework of the child, fine, let it do. Make the ChatGPT's homework be assessed by the child instead of you assessing the child's homework. So there is an essay which the student brings to you. You make the son or the daughter, the boy or the girl, assess that particular essay like he becomes the assessor for his own essay. This will enhance the child's creative thinking, critical thinking, also the judgment, the evaluation, and all that. And that's how you can actually bring in 21st century skills into the life of the child rather than just saying ChatGPT is not good enough, it is going to make shortcuts, and that's why I don't like it.
Absolutely right, sir. Absolutely right, sir. And this is very good thing you have told that instead the child if does the your homework with the chat use of chat gpt, the child himself will assess that what is right and what is wrong in the answer, because when the child will go through it, he'll or she'll be able to understand what actually the right thing is. Sometimes the teachers may be wrong because schools are in all the places, in remote areas also, in the big cities also. If the teacher is also, sometimes the parents come to us and complain your wrong correction has been done or wrong answer has been given by the teacher, but chat gpt will give the perfect answer. Wrong question, a wrong answer, the child learns the wrong thing. Here chat gpt, if you take it in the positive aspect, as you said, sir, will bring more perfection to the children also if it is taken positively. Thank you so much, sir. So now, because we are going to talk about the pros and cons, so we come up to the next question. What are the potential drawbacks of using Chat GPT according to you in schools, and how that can be mitigated?
Well, I think the first thing is about ChatGPT is the dilemma between factual versus ethical. Because as it is a machine, it is going to pull out from the plethora of information which is already available. It may not be able to have that moral judgment on what is right, what is wrong. So there is a factual pool of information, but not necessarily that it can be ethically correct. So what is right may not be the actual thing which needs to be followed or implemented. So that dichotomy between factual and ethical will exist with ChatGPT, and a human is the best judge to understand the difference and take the right path. That is number one. The second thing is sometimes the plausibly sounding but wrong answers will come. That means it will give you options which are all sounding possible, but they may not be the right way to do it. For example, we all know about Google Maps. It talks about go in this particular direction and take 45-degree turn to the right or to the left, but you might realize once you're there that there is a roadblock where the people have dug up the road, or there is a small kind of a hurdle. Now Google cannot foresee that what happened yesterday morning or what happened today morning. Same is with GPT, where it can give you some possible right answers, but then not necessarily that all of them can be implemented. And the last and the third challenge which I see and I foresee which can happen is ChatGPT's working methodology is more about not asking you for clarification. So you ask something, it won't come back to you and say, did you mean this? Did you mean that? It will start searching information based on what it understands from your words, which means there is a possibility of it making an assumption. It assumes a lot of things and then gives you the answer. So if I don't interpret your query in the right way, obviously you will be served with the wrong answer. So that is also a shortcoming according to my understanding.
Right, perfectly right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now we'll come up to the next question, sir. Sir, because you said that all the things are being provided, information is provided by ChatGPT. It may be right or it may be wrong for the students. So accordingly to what ethical consideration should be taken into account when using ChatGPT in schools?
Yeah, of course. See, plagiarism is one thing which is debated a lot, where it's not right to take somebody's work and then pass it off as my work. And of course, there are detectors like GPT Zero is one detector from Princeton, where they come up with that and say that okay, anything which comes out to you from student as an assignment completion, you can scan that through the GPT Zero program, and it will detect for AI written text, so that you know that this is not original, this is something. But I don't think that is the job of a teacher. I mean, a teacher is not here to set up a mouse trap for the child and then catch the child every now and then and say, you're wrong here, you're wrong there. But talking about ethical issues which will come up is number one, too much of dependency on ChatGPT may result in you getting blindfolded by technology. Okay, now that's an ethical decision which you have to make as to is life all about tech or is there more to it? Because there is emotions, there is peer to peer interaction, there is a lot of previous experience and the know how or the knowledge or the treasure house of what we have gone through, and that experience can be translated. So now, ethically speaking, I know that human beings can do not more than 2 to 3 things properly in any given day. They can focus on 2 to 3 things alone. But if you look at a to-do calendar, it can slot your entire 12-hour window into 7 meetings and six, small little chats and other things. But is it practical? Is it ethical to bombard people with so much and then you don't get quality out of it? Now, these are the questions which we need to answer as humans. And as schools, we also have to understand that a machine has its own advantages and disadvantages, but machine cannot be comparable to my teacher or my student.
Absolutely right, sir, because it should be regarded as a tool. Teachers cannot be replaced, whatever ChatGPT or anything comes up. Thank you so much, sir. So we'll come on to the next question now. What are the long-term implications of relying on ChatGPT for students' learning and development, according to you?
See, the first long term implication I will say is banning will not work. You cannot say that I will ban ChatGPT and I will live in a silo, because that's not going to work. And it's going to be there because if you look at it, today's children are going to be using AI tools and a lot of tech advancements much more than what they're using already today. Because uh, OpenAI and ChatGPT is just one thing. There are many more things which will be coming out which are already on the AI platform. The other day, I was talking to somebody who prepared a presentation. a PPT using an AI platform. They have not done anything on PowerPoint. The PPT was completely, or a presentation was completely given to them through that particular AI platform. So you can't ban it. Now, the long term implication is, I personally, being an optimist, I see that ChatGPT has a potential to become the teacher's best friend. How the ChatGPT can become an effective teaching tool to deepen students' understanding and retention. Because, for example, if in a normal day I will tell the child to read two poems or three poems or write one essay, but with ChatGPT, the student can actually try out 20 different types of essays on the same topic, right? That's a simple example. Or solve a mathematical problem, or translate a particular text to any language the child wants, and that thereby enhance language learning. So there are a lot of things which the teacher can make ChatGPT do by making ChatGPT the best friend. The other example is, for example, if there are complex concepts, say for example Doppler effect, you can write in the ChatGPT prompt saying, explain me the Doppler effect like how you explain to a fourth grader or an eighth grader. That means ChatGPT will itself condense the entire explanation in a very simplistic manner, which the teacher can use to reach to everybody. Like, for example, there is a visually spatial learner in the classroom. You have already categorized your children into visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and spatial. So you have a visually spatial learner in your classroom, and you can come up with, how do I deal with visually spatial learner when it comes to this concept? Now, these are the long-term implications I see of ChatGPT in the classroom.
Absolutely right, sir. ChatGPT has, we cannot ignore that. I just give an example, sir. Around 2, 3 months back, I went to one of the college in DU, Delhi University, and one of the in the open forum after my session, the student said that, sir, I got 99 point something percentile in my competitive exam, and all the doors of the universities are open in India, but I wanted to go to Germany. There, my admission was refused because on the basis that I do not have the knowledge of AI, because till now in the most of the maximum schools in India, the the computer science or AI started in class 11th and 12th, where the child is struggling with the board classes. Now many of the schools, they have started up with grade 1, because when you are, it shows that whatever good you are, you, if you'll not be able to compete with the with the world, so you are nowhere, you are zero there. So that is more important, that AI should be integrated, because the maximum or the 100% of the jobs which will be coming in the future will directly indirectly related to AI. If you're not with the AI, that means you're out of the market there. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, we'll come up to the next question, which is a very important one, because we are talking about teachers here. How can teachers be trained to use chat GPT effectively in the classroom? Because they are the people who are directly dealing with the students. So please let us know how the teachers can be trained for that.
Well, I think I will take from where I left in the last particular answer and also your example. Now, see, teachers, according to me, I've always believed in this, and I always say this whenever I get an opportunity. Teachers are the bridge between the current generation and the future generation, because they are the people who transform the future generation's requirements into the current generation by decoding it in their own subjects, languages, and their own interactions with the students. So, if ChatGPT is an example which we are discussing today, or the topic, now the teacher, first of all, begins by understanding what are the pros and cons of ChatGPT and what are the implications and how it can be utilized or summoned to be an assistant in the classroom. That's how I'm using. Please mark my words. Chat GPT is an assistant to the teacher inside the classroom or outside the classroom. Now, being having said that, the teacher has to do his or her share of the homework on using Chat GPT, and that is only possible by the amount of time you spend on the tool. For example, the Chat GPT can be like a calculator. Now, there is a calculator. Now, you know when to use it, how to use it, and what to use it for. Now, only when you know that, you will be able to give problems where children can use a calculator to solve, or you can say you don't need a calculator to solve this problem, right? That kind of a clarity and discretion is there in the mind of the teacher. Similarly, use ChatGPT, or I replace calculator with ChatGPT. Now, what happens? you can know that what is the thing. How about having a session inside a class where you put the chat GPT on the big screen in your digital board or your TV or whatever you have as a tool or in your computer lab, and then you play with it, you learn with it. So teacher has to use that as a tool. That is number one. Second thing which I really want to talk about is teachers also have to shred inhibition. You cannot have the fear of technology. I mean, go back 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago when COVID struck. I personally have spent, or rather, I have spent more than 40 minutes convincing my Hindi teacher before COVID in 2017 to make her open an email ID, just an email ID. Why? Because we were going online, we wanted to go paperless. So we wanted everybody in our school and ecosystem of schools to have an email because we can circulate and interact on the virtual documentation form. But I took 45 minutes to convince that lady. But fast forward to 2019 March or 2019 April, that lady took less than 45 minutes to create a Google Classroom. What stopped her from then to now? What changed? One, of course, COVID happened, but then here the teachers' fear of technology came down. Same way, people, that is today, teachers should feel that technology is not a threat. Technology is their tool to have a better way of handling it. And here, the role of the schools are also important. Schools have to bring in those conversations. Schools should encourage teachers to start using ChatGPT or any other AI tools to enhance their ability to give value to the student.
Absolutely right, sir. And it was just like that invention is the mother of necessity, because at that time the teacher thought that without now technology, I will not be able to survive. So therefore, she went for that. This happened all over, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come on to the next question, sir, now. According to you, in what ways can ChatGPT used to enhance students' engagement and motivation in the classroom? Because we were talking about pandemic, especially after 2 years of almost 2 years of pandemic, students' concentration towards or their effectiveness towards the studies has gone down. So, how ChatGPT is going to help in this regard?
Say, well, I'll take an example. Now, we all have heard of Aladdin and the Adbhut Chirag or the genie, right? So, just imagine there is a genie who's going to come out and do anything and everything for you. Don't you think your quality of life is enhanced? Absolutely, right? So, for me, if I have to answer your question, I want to answer it with a phrase: peer to peer learning, where peer is the PC, that is ChatGPT. So treat the PC or the computer as another peer, a fellow learner, and then you interact with that particular learner the way you interact with your fellow friend. And just a disclaimer there is that person who is the PC can tell you anything and everything under the sun. So your quality of interaction will definitely be enhanced slowly but surely. The teachers, the students have to recognize the fact that there is a tool and I'm going to engage. It's like, beating the boxing bag, right? You keep hitting, punching it, your knuckles and your hand and your shoulder will get stronger over a period of time. You're enhanced, your capacity to defend is enhanced. Similarly, when you keep putting in those prompts and engaging with the chat GPT or any other AI platform, the quality of your understanding, assimilation, synthesis, and ability to create will only get enhanced over a period of time.
As you're absolutely right, sir. Why? Because students, they have become shy now. They don't want to ask the questions inside the classroom. Maybe the other students will make fun of them that you don't know this. Here, you and the comfort 24 into 7, you can ask a machine. It is not one to one even. And even the machine will not get frustrated if you ask the machine 100 times. I have used ChatGPT, sir. Whenever I'm asking the same question and again, you get the different answer. You're not getting the same answer. This is also a huge difference between Google. One of my teacher gave one or two questions answer from Google. The parent came and showed the notebook and showed Google also that the same answer is here. But when you yourself will find the same question again, type the same question and ask the same question, the answer will be different. So here copying is not there. It's not there that in wide everybody will get the same answer. So here the child will get the confidence also that nobody is looking at him, and that confidence is built between the man and the machine. the machine which is going to work as a man only.
Absolutely. I want to add here, there was one teacher like any of us, you or me, in America, and I was reading this in the magazine. He confessed that he used ChatGPT to evaluate a high school student's answer script. And
Okay.
the ChatGPT was able to evaluate it at a very high and a deep level. Plus, what he mentioned, and I'm quoting that, he said the feedback provided by ChatGPT in a fraction of a second is something which I would have never done for even a week. So it assessed the question paper, I mean the answer script, and then it provided personalized feedback, which now, if you look at this, okay, the teacher has used the chat GPT as a tool, keep that aside, but that feedback part is definitely going to enhance the life of the child, is it not? Because the child is getting such personalized feedback, which is critical to his or her growth academically. Yeah.
Absolutely right, sir. And sir, if you're talking about AI, because it is all AI based, the teachers, suppose we are talking about mathematics, that is also a big problem with the students when they come in middle schools. So the teacher says, I have 40 students class with 40 minutes. I'm not able to understand which child is lacking in which particular topic or subject. So here the chat GPT or AI based tools, they tell the feedback, give the feedback to the teachers also. They make the assignments that like you told, they make the assignments and they check also, and by the time the child is solving, they give the feedback to the teacher also that where the child is lacking, where you have to put on more effort, where the teacher is getting the time, saving his time for making the assignments because AI based tools chat GPT is making it and checking it also. So whatever the time is being saved, the teacher can utilize that towards the perfection of the topics, because now the teacher cannot say that I'm not knowing where the child is lacking and I'm in shortage of time. He has plenty of time because half of the work is being taken by this machine, by AI tools. So that is very important, sir, and it is very important. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to the next question, sir. Sir, how can Chat GPT be used to support students with different learning needs and abilities?
Absolutely. This is another important point. Inclusivity is something which we have been discussing and we have been mulling about across the boards and even the schools. And it's very important that we are able to reach the child's level. Okay. And it can be different kind of requirements every child has. You know, you don't have to bracket them into slow learner or an ADHD or autistic. Those are scientifically and medically also available, but what is important for a school is to reach out to every child, and the mantra is about every child counts. Okay, so chat gpt can help you create differentiated lesson plans at a stroke of a button. Now, we all know that lesson plan is the most important requirement for us to go and do justice in our 40-minute window, which we have in a class. Now, how about having a differentiated lesson plan, having a kind of a customized lesson plan where you cater to students at their level? And that is where I see ChatGPT can play a major role, or any other AI tool can play a major role if you kind of harness its potential and then you can go for it. Second thing, and the other important thing which I would like to add here when it comes to reaching out to children, is like we discussed earlier, that you can reduce the complexity of the topic or of the concept depending on the requirement. Maybe you can introduce a particular topic at the beginning using a much more simpler words, and then you can change the script to much more complex words as you go along in the topic. Now that a teacher will have to do 100 times of research if she has to prepare notes and then go and use it, but with chat gpt it can happen less than 5 minutes or 7 minutes.
Absolutely right, sir, because it is also can be seen, as you said, that if there are different ability learners, ChatGPT can make the different question assignments and question papers for them. It is not possible for the teachers to make more than one or two question papers or assignments, but ChatGPT will give the question paper or assignment to the child according to his mental ability. It will not give it to the ability in the same level. That is very perfect thing, wherein the students' mental level also increase and their study level or whatever level will also increase. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come on to the next question, sir. what privacy concerns should be taken into account when using ChatGPT in schools? That is most important thing, sir.
Yeah, well, I mean, privacy, see, technology is very, very important for us. With respect to technology, it's very important to keep in mind the privacy concerns and other things, because what happens is anything can actually create that kind of a problem for you whenever you are engaging with technology without being cognizant about privacy. Okay, for example, if you look at ChatGPT itself, that any information which you share there is all logged, is all tracked. Okay. Now, who is going to use it and in what manner they are going to use it is a big concern. So you need to have that kind of firewall. The school has to provide that kind of a firewall to all the learners and to the teachers, where that data and that information is not misused. I mean, we all live in a world where, if you talk loudly about a particular product, the next minute your mobile phone shows that advertisement, or your Alexa talks about that particular product and all that. So privacy is definitely a very thin line today, and there are a lot of ways people are penetrating it. But when it comes to ChatGPT, I think that if you have robust systems and robust firewalls, you will be able to reduce the risk of it, but you definitely cannot completely overrule the risk.
Right, absolutely right, sir. Coming up with the last but not the least question, sir. What are the some alternatives approaches to using ChatGPT in schools, and how can they compare to this technology in terms of their effectiveness and impact on student learning?
So, in terms of alternative, yes, there are a host of other AI-related tools which are available and you can use. But before even going there, let me also talk a little bit by taking a step back about the mindset required to use technology. Because, see, even today, even after COVID, I see that there are people, there are schools, there are institutions who are either telling, okay, we use technology because and there was a lot of there was no option and we had to do or die, so we did it. But now that everything is back to the physical world, why should we stick to that? That is one. In between, we also have heard of debates about hybrid learning, but to be honest, today hybrid learning is just in the books. Nothing is really happening because people, including school principals, have kind of written off hybrid learning, saying it is not effective. Okay. But if you harness the potential of hybrid learning, if you harness the potential of technology, if you harness the potential of all of this, you can enhance the quality and enhance the effectiveness and efficiency to a greater level, which we all have seen in COVID, which we all have seen. Like, I'll give you an example in house. During the last 2 years, we did a lot of TLMs, teaching learning materials, which were available for anybody on our Google Drive. Okay. Now, fast forward 10 months, how many times that Google Drive been accessed? Hardly any. Why? Because people think that COVID is over, so the Google Drive is no longer relevant. So, what I mean to tell here through this particular example is technology is not time sensitive. Technology cannot be like, okay, 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, I'll use technology, and then after that, I'm not going to be with technology. Technology is all pervasive. So you need to make it a culture. You need to make it a thought process. You need to bring it integrated into system. Like NCF and NEP is talking about art integrated teaching, thematic teaching. Same way, tech enabled teaching and tech enabled learning is part of the system, and we need to embrace that. I think that once you do it, then you can explore lot of alternatives. Like in the Zoom, you had that polling option. Today, it started with Google, but almost every tool is giving you the polling option and the quiz option and other thing. So that means even the developers behind are looking at the user behavior and they're able to give you necessary tools to do that. So as a user, I have to be in the driving seat to dictate and demand what I need, and there will be tools available. But the mindset to integrate technology and look for alternatives is more important than the actual alternatives.
So that means you want to say, sir, that Chat GPT or technology should be used, but that should be used in a limited manner. Because when, yeah, you want to say about things, sir, about this, anything?
Yeah, I mean, see, everything has to be used in its limitations, right? I mean, just because I have access to internet, that doesn't mean that 24/7 I will do everything through internet.
Right.
The beauty of the touch and the feel and the personal connect is also there. Now you cannot do video calls with everybody and then say, why should I even meet anybody? So
Right.
similarly, in education, in a you can't just rely totally on ChatGPT. Exams has to happen, assessments has to happen, stage fear has to be removed by the child getting a chance to go in front of the morning assembly. The table manners has to be taught through food, F&B, that is the food and beverage department inside the dining halls. There should be some kind of traditions and values where you celebrate every program, every event, every festival, whether it is Christmas or Ramzan or even Ugadi or Diwali. You need to celebrate. Those are important things. I'm not saying, because school is not just for marks. School is for creating an experience. Going to, I mean, if we friends today sit across a coffee table, we talk about our schools. We don't talk about math, physics, computer science, or history. We talk about all those lovely and unpleasant experiences which we went through in the school. Maybe my PT teacher punished me. He made me run or he whacked me blue, black and blue back then, because that time corporal punishment was allowed, where I did not polish my shoes or my nails were not cut or my hair was not kept. So the idea here is we look at school as a place of creating experiences for the students. And that is recognized now when the last 2 years children were kept away from the schools. Right? They thought that okay, syllabus was completed, exams were conducted, everything was done, but then school was not still the same. The experience which the child goes through in the school is totally different. So coming back to the point, yes, technology is there, chat gpt is there, tomorrow something else may come up, AI is there, something else may be enhanced there, but it does not mean that it is going to be everything, it is be all and end all, and schools does not have any other thing to do other than embracing technology. That's not what I meant.
Absolutely right, sir. That means that Chat GPT should be welcomed in a limited manner because excessive use of anything is always dangerous.
Absolutely.
And right. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us on Chat GPT because we had a lot of doubts about it, but now these doubts are cleared. And this is, I'm sure that teachers, especially the teachers, will get perfection about it, the clarity about it, what actually Chat GPT is, if they are bringing Chat GPT in their schools, in which manner they have to use it, what are have to follow, and they have to bring it forward to the students that it become gives out a positive aspect of it. Thank you so much, sir. It was wonderful having you over here on the show, and thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. Hope to see you with another topic some other day, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I wish all the best to you and your show, and look forward to many more episodes from you. And I will also be learning from all those interactions. Thank you once again.
Thank
Take
you so
care.
much, sir. And sir, I will also request you that some other day with one or two more good personalities, we'll have a discussion for something else with a very good thing. I'll request you whenever I invite you again. So please take out some time and come to our show and bless us.
Surely, it will be a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.